That is such a valuable piece of advice there.
These are the sorts of things that we should talk about right in the first 5 minutes of the podcast.
Started giving people free quotes.
Isn't sunshine and rainbows, and isn't, everyone sees you doing so well.
For just being a solo
The
operator.
change in mindset makes a massive difference.
Welcome to Aussie Lawn Stars.
Everything you can say will be held against you.
Don't want to hear that again.
I won't ask where you heard it before.
No. All good.
So welcome, Jayden. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. How you going, mate?
Oh, yeah, it's been a hectic one. First question, do you ride motorbikes?
Yeah. Oh, just off road. Nothing on road. So
Yeah. So, what sort of bike you ride off road?
just a KLX 250S. We just got 6 acres at Ilden, so I just ride around there. So nothing too fancy.
So is that Lake Eildon?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice spot out there.
Yeah. No, it's close to the lake, so it's perfect. Yeah, I need to get a license because I'm not riding off without it. Off road because I know I'll get done. All my mates have been done, so
Yeah, fair enough.
Close, yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess being like that, you should have a jet ski to go out on the lake as well.
Yeah, I've got an old fishing boat, but that's about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
As long as it's 2-stroke, so you can hear the serenity.
Yeah. You don't own a boat, you just have a mate that owns a boat. That's probably the new thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah. They cost too much to run.
Yeah. So, Jayden, people listening in, they're going to want to know who you are, and if they're not on LMCA, they won't know who you are, but if they are on LMCA, it's Jayden Ribchester.
Yeah.
Everyone will recognise you there.
Yeah. For good and bad.
Look, we're always going to find people that we have a difference of opinion with. So.
Yeah. No, I've found a few. But that's all right.
I think that's the beauty of our industry, right? You get to have your own opinion and share it, and people disagree, but so what?
Yeah, there's heaps of people in one spot, so everyone's got a different opinion. So.
Well, I think also because it's a technical job, everyone has an opinion, but as far as they're concerned, their opinion is right. It's the only way to do it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
We won't mention the unmentionable topic that has to come up whenever we're talking about opinions.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in business now?
8 years, 8.5 years, something like that.
Yeah, okay. So I'm thinking that's going to put you back about 2016, 2015?
Yeah, 2016, I think I registered the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So
17.
You would have had a year or two under your belt before LMCA came along.
Yeah, I don't know. When I joined, probably, 2019 or so. I didn't join straight away. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah. Well, when I did my last Cape trip, LMCA was a thing at that stage. It was already there. So that's 2018.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know when I joined. I've been kicked out twice, I think.
Well done.
I don't know. I've been kicked out of the other one a couple of times. That's all right.
I haven't been kicked out yet, but I know I upset a couple of people here and there.
Yeah. How that happens.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. No, if I haven't upset enough people, I just need to talk more about mulching.
Yeah, mulch or catch. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, well, I'm firmly in the camp of mulching, but I also believe that you do what needs to be done. So there's a time and a place for each.
Yeah, definitely. I've been catching a lot more lately and just find it a bit quicker sometimes.
Yeah.
Than running over a lawn twice or something when it's a little bit overgrown.
Yeah, definitely. And I've found if you've got a certain time of year or you've got really fast growth, it's impossible to do a neat job mulching.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've never really mulched, like I've chucked a mulch plug in or had a Husky mulch mower, but I usually just have the side shoot, which people don't like as saying as mulching, but, you flick it down and then you flick it up and,
Yeah.
person.
Look, while we're on the topic, I'll say it. If you've got a dedicated mulch deck, it's going to do a better job of mulching. And
100%.
Officially, that's mulching.
Yeah.
But if you've got the flap down, you're still mulching the grass.
Yeah. You're still cutting it up, so it looks good enough. Like that sounds bad. You don't notice it. Like,
Well, I'll put it to you this way: if you've got a flap over the exit chute,
yeah,
chances are you'll get a bit of a windrow there.
yeah.
If you
Run over it with a chute up.
Yeah, if you do that and then you go, okay, if you cut twice, then you can disperse the clippings from that windrow.
Yeah,
Easy.
definitely. Or you go
If you've got
catcher.
if you've got a residential mower with a pressed metal deck, or you got a fancier mower like a John Deere or a Kubota that might have a commercial pressed deck,
Yeah.
the airflow keeps the mulch moving around rather than hitting a flat surface and dropping. So you can cut, and I've done this with a old Dixon mower that had a pressed deck. We cut grass that was a foot tall, and you could not see the clippings afterwards. It looked like it had been caught.
Jesus.
So when you're saying good enough, like, yeah, it's good enough, but that there was as good.
Well,
And
press decks have a better cut usually.
And you use gator blades on that, and you just get a really nice finish.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, horses for courses. There's no one size fits all, which is why we get this argument come up.
There's heaps of different mowers out there. Heaps of them do different things, but they all cut grass.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you started 8.5 years ago,
Yep.
What we should do is talk about whereabouts you are working. Have you moved, or you've been working the same spot the whole time?
Working the same spot, still at home in Bayswater, so Bayswater North. Yeah.
Bayswater. I have no idea where Bayswater is.
Sort of eastern suburbs of Melbourne.
Yeah, okay. Eastern suburbs. So you're not down the peninsula.
No, it's not nowhere near the bay. About an hour from the bay, so I don't know why it's called Bayswater, but...
So you don't have to give Will Harford a hug every time you see him?
Nah, he's an hour away. I take him to go service me Skag, so I still drive an hour to go see him.
Oh, okay, so you do go and give him a hug every now and then, just not too often.
Yeah, no, not too often. You gotta keep your distance.
Yep, fair enough.
He's all right.
No, he's good value.
Yeah, he's helping me out a lot with me mower when it breaks.
No, he's a really knowledgeable guy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I worked around here since I was 17. So I was walking around with my mower and stuff and cutting.
Okay, so you started in school then, or did you leave school? And
I left school at 15, 14.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, but this is the only career you've had then, I'm guessing, or did you do like dominoes or something before you started?
No dominoes. No, I don't get a license till you're 18 here. So I left school 15, did a pre-app in carpentry. So I wanted to be a chippy, but then I did a few weeks of that, and I was like, yeah, no, that's not for me. I worked at a timber yard for 6 months, stacking timber, picked up golf balls, at a driving range. I've done a bit of everything. I think did cabinet making for a while, a couple of weeks of that.
Yeah.
And then I was mowing lawns. Like I've been mowing lawns around here since I was 14, 15, like mowing the neighbours and all that. And then I sort of thought, I'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I advertised on Facebook, and then this guy Shane, he found me, and he's like, I'll give you a couple of days a week. So I did a couple of days a week with him, or a day a week every now and again.
Yeah.
So
nice.
That sort of helped me out a lot.
A lot of people have been asking about which brand of battery tool to buy, and I don't like to recommend one brand of battery for everyone or every situation. Dealer support and access to parts and service all play a big role in that decision. Some brands have better tools for specific needs or each product category. I've been using a variety of brands, and I endeavour to provide unbiased interviews on Aussie Lawn Stars with as many of those product brands as possible. I reached out to Ego Power Plus through the podcast because of how Barry supports the industry and Ego owners. Barry has impressed me with his loyalty to customers in providing support and listening to the needs of the industry, which has resulted in a full lineup of new commercial tools landing in Australia over the last 12 months that has positioned Ego as a leader in the commercial tool space for outdoor power equipment. Visit egopowerplus.com.au to see if they have the tools you need today. So when you started mowing, you said you're pushing your mower around to doing different jobs, and given you would have been 15 when you first started, probably would have been an old Victor or...
it was an old Rover.
Old Rover, even better.
Yeah. Well, when I first started doing a couple of neighbours, and I wasn't a proper business. I was just doing it for a bit of cash. But when I properly started, I actually got a mower from Shane, the guy. He was doing a job, and this guy was throwing away a mower, so I grabbed his Massport
Oh, yeah.
from this job, and I used that for a while. Just an old Massport. I got a good whippersnapper. I got a Shindawa T260, like every bloke does back then. So I had one of those. So I had a good whip,
Yeah.
just a still handheld blower, and like a BG 86 or whatever, and just a Massport. I think it was like a 470. It was shit, but
So decent whip, decent blower, crappy mower.
crappy mower, yeah. But you could do everything with it because you know it had the full chute.
Yeah.
If you had an issue, you just whippersnip it,
Mm.
so you could get a good finish.
Yep.
It took forever. Like we've held on to that mower. I think we just threw it out last year because it was falling apart. Because my old man was using it to mow the back lawn.
Nice. Yeah. So when you started, you would have been, like you're saying, you're just doing it for cash. So, but at 15 years old, we're not going to call it beer money.
Nah. I don't know what I was buying. Food.
But I'm going to call you a cowboy when you first started.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely was a cowboy. It was $25 an hour.
Perfect. Well, I think at that age, that's actually quite decent.
Yeah.
And you would have felt like it was like you were a king.
Yeah,
doing that.
that was good.
Yeah. So when Shane started giving you some work,
Yeah, I was just in the car with him. He just picked me up and do a few jobs.
did you learn some business skills off him as well?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So you would have had a transition from when you first started to learning things from Shane through to when LMCA started.
Yeah. Well, he taught me like a lot about charging. Like you obviously got to charge enough to make money, everything. So he's a qualified horticulturist, so it was good to learn a couple of things off him. I wish I'd learned a few more things, but
Yeah,
you get that.
that's good person to get hooked up with when you're first starting. For sure.
Definitely. Massive help. He's still going to this day, so
Yeah, is he in LMCA?
yeah, I think so. He doesn't comment that much. He doesn't really talk too much these days. I don't think he just sort of sits in the background.
Oh, with 7,000 to 8,000 people in there's a lot of people that are just lurking, listening.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, but you've put your name out there quite a bit. Like we've said, you don't shy away from saying it how it is and stirring up the controversy.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to. Sometimes I have a few too many drinks, and it happens.
Nothing wrong with that. You got to keep everyone guessing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, just got to keep to your same thoughts, or you change it up, and then you get in trouble. But it's all right.
Well, you can change your mind half a dozen times and then leave the group and come back again.
Yeah. Well, I don't comment that much in Aussie lawn professionals or whatever they are. The professionals.
Yeah, that one, Greg's group.
Yeah, Greg. Oh, yeah. I've had a few run-ins with Greg. I think I'm blocked from him.
Yeah, I know quite a few people who've had some run-ins with Greg. I still talk to him every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's not too bad. Like I don't know. I don't know if I'm still blocked from him, but I know he kicked me out of the group because he had a go at someone, and I backed the other guy up. And then he left for a while. So I don't know. He went and had a few too many beers or something.
Yeah, he did. He was gone for probably 6 months or more.
Yeah. Still guarding, though.
Since he's been back in, he's reached out to me and said hello, and I'm like, hey, the dungeon's still warm and ready for you, Greg.
Yeah.
So if he's listening now, come on, Greg.
Yeah, you need to get that RG's guy, the bloke that... RGS, the bloke that brought in the containers full of shit.
Reese
Yeah,
Gillen?
Yeah, I think that was his name. Yeah, I heard a bunch of stories about him, but...
Yeah. I actually bought a couple of rolls of whippy cord off him before he had his meltdown.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for him, but he kind of burned his bridges pretty bad when he did it.
Yeah. I think I got some snake gaiters off him, which were just for whippersnipping, because I whippersnip in shorts like a smart person with no guard on.
Yep.
So my legs real cut up.
I'm halfway there. I wear shorts when I'm whipping, but I still keep a guard on my machine.
Yeah. I don't think I've run a guard for a while, probably 5 years or so. I haven't done that many windows, so I don't know. I just keep whipping myself more than anything. I've done windows with a guard on, so
I'm guessing that you without the guard on, you're probably not running a battery whip.
No, I have run them.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't last that long. Batteries don't last that long. I get like 10 minutes out of a 7 amp battery out of the still.
Okay, you went the still option. I should have known that because I know we've talked about still once or twice.
Yeah, the KMA 135. I think I picked one of the first ones of those up when they came into the shop. I just walked out with one.
So have you got the 300 or the 300S battery?
300S, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wonder how you go if you got the 500S in there and see how much runtime you get.
Yeah, I don't know. I was only getting 10 minutes sort of for similar power of the FFs. What did I got? The FS 131s.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I've noticed with a number of whips, your runtime can vary hugely depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not running any still battery gear at all at the moment, other than the tiny little hand shears.
Yeah, I got one of those. Yeah,
So not the chainsaw, the little hedge trimmer
little
one.
trimmer. Yeah, and how do they go? All right. Or?
They do go well. The cut speed is not high enough for you to do a lot of work with it, but if you're doing something really finicky, it's great because it's so small. You can get in and around objects really easy.
Yeah, okay, that's good then.
And the battery runs forever on it because it's not doing any work.
Yeah, they're only a small battery, and they're only moving back and forth. That's the same as a hedge trimmer. They don't use that much battery.
Yeah, well, it's basically a hedge trimmer, and except it's moving slower than most hedge trimmers, so it's doing even less work.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but now when I did the interview with Still a few weeks ago, I was talking to them about the battery gear, and
I listened to that one. Yeah,
number of people have talked about the 500 battery and how good it is.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what sort of runtime you get with the FSA 135.
Yeah, the KMA.
Well, the KMA is the multi-tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. The KMA would be very similar to the FSA in terms of runtime if you're running whipping.
Yeah, because I got the rotary scissors and I think the little pulse saw. I got the long pulse saw, which is what I use most of the time.
So you use the battery system when you're doing hedges and stuff like that?
Yeah. Got the battery pole hedge trimmer, extendable one that's heavy as. I don't know. I've just run still because that's just a dealer I've been using for me whips. So I've wanted to go husky, but no one's really got one that I can try. So I'll have to demo for husky because I need to try them because the blade speed's probably not quite there for the stills.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have thought with the pole hedger on the still, it would be similar blade speed to any of the other ones.
Not too. I just got the new HSA 100 handheld hedge trimmer. And that works well, but the blade speed's not there. It's got good torque.
Okay.
Just getting through the thicker branches, but not the thin stuff.
It'd be interesting to look up the SPM on those because I know with some of the petrol hedge trimmers with still, they had one model that was two model variants on it. One was for doing hedge reductions and the other one was for doing the fine leaf work. So the hedge reduction one had more torque and a bigger gap in between the blades, and then the other one had a smaller gap in between the blades and a faster blade speed.
Okay, yeah.
But that was petrol stuff, so I don't know whether they do the same with their battery.
Yeah, I don't think they got that many models. I think they've only got, the extendable one and the non-extendable one.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not too sure. But I think they're around 2,000 or something like that, 2,000.
Yeah, not enough.
Per second or per minute. I guess it's 2 per minute.
So, yeah, I think that you need to be up around 3,500 before it gets really decent.
Yeah, I think that's what. I think the new models may be 25 or 26, but it's like enough. Like I trim like little lime lights and all that.
Yeah.
Regularly, so they, it trims them nicely. But once you get into some real, small leaf plants, it's sort of hard to get the good shape out of them.
I think a good Buxus will test it out.
Yeah, definitely. Like it'll cut it. It's just got to be sharp, which is the same as any hedge trimmer.
Well, I know most of the brands that have got decent hedge trimmer, they're running up around 4,000 or more on the SPM.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Which is where you want to be.
I might be a bit higher on the still. I always thought it was around the 2.5, 2, but it might be around the 3.
Yeah, maybe.
I've been running them for a while, so.
Yeah.
I used to run an old Shindawa like petrol one, 2-stroke.
Yeah.
But I moved
Yeah.
away from them when they changed over.
Welcome to Aussie Lawn Stars. Do you want to leave your job to create a profitable and enjoyable lawn and garden business? Aussie Lawn Stars shares the stories, lessons and advice to help you grow a healthy, productive, efficient and sustainable business. Do you want more or simply have a question about what you heard? Contact Aussie Lawn Stars at iCloud.com or look me up, Gary Ashton, on Facebook and Messenger for individual help. Business coaching helps you to have the right mindset and perspective when it comes to daily decision making, planning, or knowing what to look for to improve your business. thinktankcoaching.com.au has helped me, and they can help you move towards your business goals. Visit their website or email them thinktankcoaching@outlook.com. If you want to establish the best practices in bookkeeping, accounting and business structure, contact Adrian from Prosper Financial on 0249 773363. And you all need to head to Lawn Mowing Contractors Australia and the Australian Professional Lawn Contractors Facebook groups for supportive communities focused on our industry. I think you'd enjoy the Husky if you managed to get a hold of one.
Yeah, I've got a couple of good dealers, so I don't know why I haven't used them, but I just went to Still because that's what I was using. I want to try the whip, the 525 or the 535. But
Yeah.
so,
I'm going to say go for the 520 on their whip.
yeah, is that the battery one, is it?
If you go their 520 battery one, it will feel underpowered, but
Yeah.
I can get over 2 hours runtime on it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go a battery whip. I'd definitely go a 2-stroke whip, I reckon. I like the power of if I got a slash or something.
Yeah. When it comes to the petrol whips, I prefer the Still over the Husky.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But I think the other factor there is if in the Still range, I've always gone for the 2-mix, not their 4-mix options. I've got the 131, but I really don't like that. That's their 4-mix machine.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same. But I've got 2 of them. I've had another one, and you sort of, I don't know. It's got good power, but I keep doing clutches and gearbox. But that's more because of the no guard, I think, and the 4-foot.
That could have something to do with it.
Yeah, like my first one I had no issues. Like, and this last one I've had, I've just done clutch springs, and I've done 1 gearbox, which is pretty good for 3 years.
Yeah, that's pretty decent run.
3 years running them commercially enough,
Yeah. If it's a serviceable item, you put a new clutch in there or a spring in the clutch and whatever, and off you go, keep moving.
Well, I usually just try and run them for 2 years and then flog them off or put them to the side of the spare. Like, I've got an edger on my old one, just put an edger on it.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I've done the same thing, got several FS 94s.
Yeah.
And one just put a edger attachment on it, another one put a hedger attachment on it.
Yeah. It's a way to go.
Oh, it's a great tool. And it's because those heads are interchangeable, it means if you're running the same engine for everything, same shaft, it's really easy to swap things around. If you have a tool die, you can just go, straight over, swap it out.
I just don't have the rotary scissors fit. I wanted to look at that, but I don't really use them enough to have a look.
I was listening to, I think it was Tim the Toolman.
Yeah, okay,
yeah. He does his own podcast now.
Does he? Yeah. I keep watching his videos.
Yeah, if you check his podcast, he was talking about the rotary scissors.
Yeah.
And the thing he was saying, the company that originally brought out rotary scissors, he said they're so much more serviceable than any of the genuine brand ones.
Yeah.
Like if you buy the Still ones or the Husky ones or the Ego ones, he's saying that the original ones, they're much more serviceable. I think they got a grease point in them, and they just seem to last better.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's probably a good thing then. That they're good. I just got the Still one, so I don't use it ever.
Yeah,
really. I've used it a handful of times,
but I think that's one thing to consider. If you grab those genuine ones, I can't remember what they call them.
Yeah,
but if you grab those, you could probably put it straight onto your whip, just alongside all your other tool heads.
I just don't know if there's too much power to them.
The only thing I seen come up on LMCA with that is the actual cut speed of them. And
it takes forever. Yeah, you wouldn't do it on the edge.
Somebody was suggesting that the revs might be too high if it's not geared right for the rotary scissors.
Yeah, I think that's the same as most of them. I think, like if you gear too high,
yeah,
quick.
Yeah, it might wear them out fairly quickly.
Yeah, the blades don't stay sharp that long either. You got to sharpen them,
Hmm.
especially if you get into some rocks and stuff in them. You start bending blades.
Yeah. But you could make YouTube vids with them and just put out satisfying YouTube cuts and
Yeah.
see if you can compete with Tim for views.
Yeah, no. I don't even know how to use my computer, so I just bought a MacBook to back up my phone. That was it. So I just wanted a decent computer for that. I don't know how to use it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but no, he seems to have done a good business model with his and
Yeah.
what he's doing. A lot of work in it. A lot of work mowing those overgrown lawns, but he's getting given a few pieces of equipment to try. So
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think the majority of the work would be in editing content.
yeah.
I found the same with the podcast. It's easy enough to sit down with you and do an interview. Then I've got to listen to that interview after we've finished.
Yep.
And I write my edit notes while I'm listening to it. And then I go back and sit in front of the computer and I go through it quickly then because I've got the time marks that I go through to do the edits.
Yep.
So that saves me doing that second listen in front of the computer and wasting time at home. I can do it while I'm whippersnipping or mowing or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Then once I've done the edit, I can then add my intro, outro, any sponsor spots, that sort of thing, and publish it. And then I listen to it again.
You got ages of time.
So this interview, it'll go from
Full time.
the first one to the second listen to edit, and then the final listen when it gets published on Monday.
Jesus. It's a lot of work. I don't know. Isn't a public holiday Monday?
It is actually, yeah. Good thing you remembered. I'd be at work.
No. God, no. I'll hopefully be away. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I need that public holiday. I've got probably about 4 jobs that I need to get done on my Hilux ready for the Cape trip. So
Yeah. What are you doing to it? Putting a few things on there?
Yeah, so far what I've done when I bought it, I bought a set of genuine Toyota mag wheels to put on it because it's a SR model Hilux, come with the steel wheels. So I got a set of mag wheels, and they came with a 1 tyre size increase, so a little bit bigger on the diameter.
What are they, 265, 65s?
The standard is 265, 65, 17s.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, I've got to say that right. 265, 65.
Yeah, 60.
17s.
Yeah.
So now I've got 265, 70, 17s.
Yeah, that's what I put on mine.
And then I bought a second set of the same genuine Toyota mags. So the first set was 5 and the second set was 4. So I've got the opportunity to run highway tyres and off-road tyres.
Yeah.
And I can just swap them back and forth.
Yeah, you won't. I've got a set of muddies and a set of all-terrains, and the muddies just stay on.
No, I'm definitely going to swap them out because the muddies will be for the Cape, and then after the Cape, it'll be Fraser Island and the Simpson and Victorian High Country and Tasmania trips. So I've got half a dozen.
I think the all-terrains are better on sand.
Highway tyres are really good on sand.
And yeah, because I went to Fraser when I was up at Queensland. So we drove around there for a few days. We couldn't stay on too long because I had to get home. But I had all-terrains on then, and they weren't too bad. But I think people with muddies were struggling. Too much.
There's a bunch of factors that come into that. I've seen somebody driving around Stockton Beach because I'm Newcastle. You got Stockton Beach there, which is a classic spot for taking your full drives on the sand dunes.
Yeah.
I saw a guy there with a Suzuki Sierra with a Lexus 4-litre V8 motor in it.
Yeah.
And I think they were like 37s or 39s or something he had on it. And he was driving around in 2-wheel drive with like 4 PSI in the tyres and just throwing big roosts everywhere. And they were really aggressive mud tyres.
Yeah.
But the key thing is they were like big balloons and really low pressure.
Yeah. Well, you got to run low pressure. I think I ran 20 or 25, but I was weighing 3.5 tons. So on my Hilux.
So my first experience driving on sand was at Stockton Beach, and I did it with an old 90 series Prado.
Yeah.
And to start with, it had highway tyres on it. And when I went to Fraser Island, I put a set of BFG KM2s, which are their mud tyres.
Yeah.
And I hit Fraser Island with the mud tyres on. And because I'd had a bit of experience driving on sand, and if you're driving up the beach at Fraser, it's like driving on a highway.
Yeah, it's pretty
No,
solid.
no need to drop the pressure at all there. But if you go up to the north end of Fraser, you go up through, I can't remember the name of it, but there's
Rocks and all that.
there's a rocky outcrop. You've got to go around the back of it,
Yeah.
unless you get really low tide.
Yeah. No one's that keen, though. There was a few people who got bogged there early this year, I think, and got stuck there for a few hours.
Yeah. So I went around that, and there was a lot of other vehicles there that couldn't get through. And because I had the mud tyres on, when you hit the wallows in the sand, the mud tyres were still finding something to keep you moving.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Whereas normally I'd pick highway tyres on the sand, but in that situation where you're trying to climb through a rough sand track like that, I'm like really glad I had the mud tyres on it.
It's good having the extra ply in the tyres too, so they're a bit thicker.
Well, BFGs have got a really good name for having the extra ply in there and a lot more protection on the sidewalls.
Just no good in wet grass.
Well, no good on wet tar.
Wet tar, yeah, wet ground, yeah. They everything I've heard, like I've had Falcon Wild Peaks for a while, and they were good, and now I'm on the Maxis road,
Okay.
the Muddies, so they're good. Good on road, like I can't hear them, but I can't hear them over the 3-inch exhaust I got. And anyway,
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, well, maybe I'll have to look up same as that, get some Maxis.
No, yeah, I picked up 5 of them, basically brand new with alloy rims for $1,000. I was pretty happy.
Well, I've got to put new tyres on before the end of June. So what have we got? 3 weeks before I've got to have my new tyres on?
I was just lucky I found them secondhand. Like I found heaps for like singular ones, and then I was just going to put them on my rims. But
yeah,
I found 5 of them for $1,000. I was like, oh, laugh and save myself. I don't know, they're probably $500 a rim and $500 a tyre or $400 a tyre. So
yeah,
save myself
nice.
a fortune.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely got to do new tyres before I go. I've got to get solar panel on top of the rooftop tent so that I can keep the battery system charged up.
Yeah.
And I've got to do the diff breathers and the snorkel. So I've got a snorkel on there, but it's a genuine Toyota snorkel.
They're just a raised intake.
Yeah,
Not really.
They are not sealed at all, so you can't do a water crossing with it.
Nah, but you don't really want to go over the top of the wheels anyway with a newer car, because the electronics will go first.
Well, yeah, I've talked to a lot of people about that with the Hilux, and I know the Prados are definitely an issue. They have their ECU sitting somewhere around the wheel well.
Yeah,
so really dangerous.
Water inlet at the side, just the wheel.
Yeah. But I was talking to my friend about that, who's coming up the trip with me, and is like, "Oh, do we do Nolan's Brook or do we skip it?"
Yeah. I don't like going in too much water. My sister drowned my old man's D40.
Yeah.
Yeah, went through water up to probably just above the wheel, and the whole car shut off, stuck in a river.
Well, I did Nolan's Brook in the 80 series when I went up there 6 years ago. I don't need to do it again, and I really don't feel like wrecking a nice new Hilux.
Nah, you definitely don't.
So we'll see. I want to get that snorkel sealed off anyway.
What rooftop did you end up getting, or what do you have?
The Drifter Stockton.
Oh yeah, nice.
So yeah, got that. Got most of the kit set up now. Got the signs on the back. So.
Oh yeah, I got the Bush Company rooftop.
Oh yeah, how do you like it?
Love it. Yeah, heavy, but it's good. I got 340 watts of solar on the top of it too.
Yeah, well the Drifter is like 65 kilos or 69 kilos. So that was the number one reason why I picked it, because you already got the big tool canopy on the back of the Hilux weighing it down.
Yeah, I've got that too. Yeah, I've got because it's just a personal working or quoting car for me, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, fair enough.
I just put my fridge in there, and it's 100 kilos on the roof and whatever else in solar panels. So
yeah. Well, I just picked up a solar panel. I've got a friend who does solar installs for houses, and I was like, I want a solar panel that'll keep my battery system topped up so I don't need to charge it off the car.
Yeah, 400 watt did you get?
Yeah, I think it's 415 or something.
Yeah. Something like that.
The battery system I've got, I ran it on the recent trip I did down to Victoria, and I let it run for 7 days, and it switched off after 7 days without being charged by anything.
Shit, that's all right.
So if I do the trip up the Cape with the 400-watt solar panel, I should get 3 weeks without having to charge it.
Yeah, well, you charge it with the car anyway, don't you? You got the DC or?
Well, it's got DC on the battery system, but I haven't got it connected up at the moment. So
Maybe you should connect it so it's charging while you're driving in case you get some shade.
well, the 400-watt solar should keep it totally topped up.
Yeah, oh, maybe. Depends. I don't know. I run a DC charger on a 200 amp lithium, so
Yeah.
I run out with solar sometimes with my setup, but I've got induction and microwave and air fryer and big fridge. So
Yeah, you're pulling everything off it.
yeah, I used to have another 170 watts, but I took that off. So 500 watts was a bit overkill.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, well, the battery system I've got is a Blue Eddy, and it's I think it's 2.2 kilowatts of battery power.
Yeah. They're the big voltage, weren't they? 50 volts or something. 100.
Yeah, like 48 volts or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100 amp is 400 amp.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so it should do well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should talk more about business. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good to talk about that because there'll be a lot of people looking to see my car on the road.
Yeah, no, I'll have a look through the page and try and find some photos. That's a work car too, is it? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's completely work vehicle.
Yeah. I like having two separate vehicles in case you ruin one off road.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've done that for quite a while, but I just got rid of my van.
Yeah.
Back to one vehicle now.
Yeah, it's a bit cheaper for insurance and rego and everything, I bet.
I mean, my wife's got her own vehicle, so we got a family car as well. But yeah, definitely, it was costing too much having a van and the Hilux sitting there. And yeah, we'd definitely use them both, but
yeah, you can use one though.
well, it was a case of either grow the business really quickly, really big, or get rid of the van.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, so going back to your business, we were talking about battery gear.
Yep.
And the still gear you've been using.
Yep.
When you first started, you were running the push mowers.
Yep.
And you got a lot of advice from Shane.
Yeah,
so,
he still runs a non-self-propelled mower though, so I didn't get advice from him on one of those.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. And we need to know what you do with this, but if you run a business model which is all push mowers, so 19-inch, no self-propelled, and 3 tools, keep the costs.
He's got a walker, so he uses it often, I think.
Yeah, but you can run a really good business with 3 tools and just do really efficient run.
100%. It's a very profitable way to do it. I think if I was to start again, I'd just go push mower, whippersnipper, and blower, and just go on an area that's small and tight, and just keep that run.
Yeah, well, I mean, doing that, you can do $100,000 to $150,000 turnover.
Oh shit, yeah.
And your expenses are really low because your total tool outlay, if you replace all 3 of your tools, you're still sitting at about $3,000.
Yeah, 100%. And you got 2 of everything, and you're still ahead.
And then your trailer's probably 5 times as expensive as the rest of your kit.
Yeah, well, you could run it all on a ute. That's what I'd do.
You could.
I'd just keep it all on a ute and just run it off. That's what I did for years. I just ran 2 push mowers.
If you're mulching, you could run it out the back of a Kia hatchback.
Yeah. It's just a smell of grass. I used to just run a ute, so I just put 2 mowers, wooden planks, and just put everything in the tray. And I just put the whips in there. I tied them down, but
yeah,
they were just strapped in there. Someone could have stolen them real easy. I was actually real lucky with that.
Yeah, I think depends where you are, right? Because there's different places have different risks. But where I am, there's a mix of all sorts of people around, and I've never had anyone steal anything off my trailer or out the back of my vehicle.
Me neither.
And I could sit there with the side of my trailer open, working on a job for an hour, and I mean, you can see me. I don't look that threatening.
No.
But if you're running around pushing a mower, run around with a chainsaw, run around with a blower and whippersnipper, wearing your high vis, whatever it is, people have got to be really opportunistic before they will take that on.
Yeah.
I'm 6'2". I'm not built really solid or anything, but people would think twice before they would steal something out of the back of my vehicle.
Yeah. Well, Shane, he had a blower, brand new Husky backpack blower taken out of the back of his tray.
Oh, no.
It was
Yeah.
like a couple of weeks old. Like people just, I don't know, they were just stealing stuff. Like around here, because I had my truck just sitting out the front.
Yeah.
People just checking it. Like every night, they were checking me locks. So I had to put it in a factory,
Yeah.
which was smart because then I don't have to worry about people stealing me stuff overnight. I kept on seeing trucks getting stolen without even having the keys. So
Yeah.
it's definitely.
I've got a 12 metre by 12 metre shed up my backyard and a 5 foot high gate, 5 foot high fence right the way around the property, and a Labrador that is the biggest sook in the world, but he sits behind the gate and barks.
We got 4 border collies here, so they just bark at everything walking past.
So people don't go into my backyard.
No. We had some guy jump on our roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, some guy ended up getting in our backyard when the dogs were inside, got up on the gate, got up on the roof and was jumping roof from roof.
Yeah.
Ended up finding him on the cameras like a couple of days later. Some bloke caught him. It was just some guy on ice or something, just jumping on roofs. He ended up falling through the bloke's shed.
Well, I was going to say it'd need to be a meth head or somebody on ice.
Yeah. Well, it's a 3 metre jump from the neighbour's side, so it's a fair jump. So he had good effort. It was raining that night too, and he was jumping on roofs.
How many bones did he break?
None, I don't think. He was laughing. He came by a few days later and apologised.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sorry, I was off my head. And he only looked around the corner. It's like, fuck, well done, mate.
Ah, boy. There you go.
Good area.
Yeah. Yeah. So what direction have you taken your business since you learnt some business skills? Because we were talking about the push mowers and your 3 basic tools, and I think you went into your hedge trimmer a bit. But have you gone for ride-on mowers?
Yeah. I got the Skag 32.
So stand on. Yep.
Yeah. The V-Rod too. Yeah, I got one of those during COVID. So, and the Cub Cadet Pro Z 48. Yes, good on hills sort of thing. I got that probably 5-6 years ago.
Did you think about going larger on the Cub Cadet?
No, I only had an 8x5. I don't have room. I didn't have room for a big enough trailer sort of thing at home. I only had a certain amount. I had about 20 mil either side on an 8x5 to get the gate, so I had, no room. I've
been caught out on this because I've had 5 foot wide trailer that is 1,500 millimeters on the inside, right? So you could squeeze a 56-inch walker deck into there.
Oh, yeah.
But I hired a trailer to go and pick up my side-by-side, and I hired a 5 foot wide trailer, and it wasn't 5 foot wide on the inside. It's 5 foot wide on the outside, and it didn't fit, and I was pretty pissed off.
Yeah. Well, I had a job where I fit through the gate with a 48 by like 20 mil either side. So I'm just like, if I go any wider, I'm not going to fit. And then that was the only job where I was just like, if I don't fit, like I'd go bigger in the future. Like I'm moving sort of 2.5 hours away from here. Maybe find some bigger acreage or something.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a good acreage mower. Like I've cut 10 acres with it before in a day, and me back, like it's not very comfy to sit on. Like a couple of hours isn't too bad, but I can't sit on it all day.
Has that got the steering wheel?
Yeah.
So the difference between a regular zero turn and yours with the steering wheel, people, unless they actually see this and try it, that's very hard for them to visualize this. But a regular zero turn, because your drive wheels are independently operated, they don't drive at the same speed everywhere, and your front wheels are caster wheels.
Yeah.
If you lose traction on one wheel, you have no steering and no control, and you're stuck.
Because I had an old zero turn, old Toro I bought for $1,000, just a commercial.
Yeah.
That's the first zero turn I started with, and that just on any slope, any wet grass, if you're going downhill, you're taking that turn. Can't do anything to help it.
So with the steering wheel on the Cub Cadet, that essentially means you can lock your front wheels in the right direction. So it becomes much like a car in terms of getting traction.
Yeah.
And your ability to drive out of bog holes or on slopes.
Oh, you can try and get out of bog holes, but if you're stuck in the back, you're stuck in the back.
Yeah.
I've had to winch myself out before.
But a regular zero turn will get stuck twice as quick as you will.
Yeah. You can get up a lot more hills and
yep,
wet grass. Like it's like a 4B. It's just built solid. And
So has yours got the dual wheels on the back?
Nah, just one set.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
It'd
look good.
be interesting to know what size they are.
Yeah, not too sure. They're bigger than the 32, but I think I got the 36 wheels on that one. But
Okay, yeah.
I'm not too sure. They're pretty wide.
Now, I've been pretty critical of the whole 32-inch stand-on range. And to be fair, when I say critical of it,
Yep.
I'm critical of the idea of buying one without making sure it's a good fit for your business first. So,
Yeah, I was saying heaps of people sell them.
yeah, definitely.
And
So,
heaps of people buying them too. So
yeah. Yes, a lot of people jump on the craze.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone else has got one, I need to get one. And I even thought about it at one stage. I was like, 32 would be awesome. But I've already been through that craze when I started my business. I got a 36-inch Dixon because I had a 42-inch and I got a 36.
Yep.
And I honestly didn't use it. I took it out once or twice because I had some narrower gates. And then I found it was just taking longer to do everything than the 42.
Yeah.
So
I found it really good to fit through the small gates. And like if I had a 36, I wouldn't fit because the deck would be too wide. I got the 36-inch, the tyres that come off them.
Yeah.
But the width of the deck, I wouldn't fit through because I don't know. It's just that they're exactly on 900 mil wide.
So the difference between you and me would be coming down to the fact that you've got a lot of properties with narrow gates.
Yeah, heaps. Yeah.
I had one or two properties where I couldn't use my 42-inch mower. And instead of running around with a 36 or a 32 as well as the 42, I'd run around with the Honda self-propelled, and I would do that when I had the tight ones.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't justify having a 32 or a 36-inch machine, which I couldn't fit on the trailer beside my 42. It was either or.
Because I don't get the point of 36s or 42s because you're better off having a 32 because it'll be just as quick as a 36 and you fit in more gates. Like they're not going to be that much difference.
Yeah. Well, that makes good sense for you, but for me, and I'm not doing this anymore, but when I was doing residential work, I could fit my 42 in everywhere. And so it was substantially quicker than the smaller machine because I could fit it in everywhere.
Yeah.
And the only way I would have changed was probably to go to a 48 instead of the 42.
Yeah. Well, that's the weird thing. Like if you fit in a gate with a 42, you're going to fit in with a 48.
Yeah.
Usually. That's why 32, 48 is probably a good size for most gates.
Yep. Well, I think if I went to a 48, going back to my residential run, there was at least one property that the 42 fit through that a 48 wouldn't have fit through, and there probably would have been a few others, but it still would have been a large percentage of them I could have done with the 48.
Yeah. So, one client's not really going to make that much difference. If you got to drop it because your mower doesn't fit, it's not, won't kill you, but I like the 32. Like I got a 30-inch Time Master, which I've never really used. I just bought it and it's just sat there. So
yeah, so going back to the whole craze idea with the 32s, a lot of people that have bought them have found that when they've bought them, they're not using it for one reason or another.
Yeah, too wet. Usually the skinny wheels are digging up lawns.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Well, the other conclusion I've come to is that they've bought it for properties that are not suited to it. So if you buy a 32 and you might be able to get access to a yard, but they're only, 20-minute jobs with a push mower.
Yeah.
Then 9 times out of 10, the 32 is no quicker than the push mower.
No, and it's probably a bit heavy for the ground too on some areas.
Yeah.
And you're turning on a spot like in winter. It's, I push mow some lawns, but some of them, you get a good finish with a 32, so you just cut it and you just deal with a few wheel marks.
Efficiency is the thing that rules a business and the decisions you make as a small business owner. Right Mowers give you the options in their product lineup to match efficiency with size, fuel usage, and the type of jobs you want to target, from catching to mulching or side discharge, from roadside verges to acreages, and manicured lawns to 6 feet tall and super long. I've been using the Right Stander I 42-inch with a Catch Pro for manicured areas and the Stander ZK61 to maximise productivity for large open acreage mowing. If you need to replace your push mower, try the 32-inch Stander B. If you have more open access to residential properties, there's a 42 through 48-inch option that suits you. And if you want to enter the acreage market, the 52, 61 and 72-inch machines have choices in engine size and model type to suit the work you want it to do. Right standards go the distance, saving you time and money season after season.
Most clients understand.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to Tim today talk about, so Tim the Toolman.
Yep. the lawnmower man.
Tim the Lawnmower Man. Tim on his podcast, he was talking about cylinder mowers because he's been experimenting with cylinder mowing,
Yep.
and he was saying that with a regular rotary mower, you don't get the compaction that you get with a cylinder mower.
Oh, yeah.
So the only compaction you get is where the wheel marks are.
What's the weight? Cylinder mowers are good because of the weight, aren't they? Or?
Well, yeah, that's why a lot of people go to a cylinder mower because and if you're going for a Mowmaster, I think they're up around 160 kilos.
Yeah. Still lighter than a 32. Yeah, there's the weight over the wheels, not the weight over the whole thing.
Well, that's very true. With the Mowmaster, the weight is spread evenly across your cylinder, whereas with your 32, yeah, you're definitely going to have wheel marks there.
Yeah, just depends on your quality of jobs and clients. Like a lot of mine are, make long grass short and try and make it look as best as possible. If you cut it with a cylinder mower, you're on a different standard.
I think that's true of most of Australia. There's a lot of customers that just want long grass made short.
Yeah, 100%. That's what Nanki's made his living out of, I think, just making long grass short too.
Well, I think he's found a niche which is a little bit more profitable, right? Because if you're doing paddock slashing,
he just spends a lot on equipment by the sounds of it.
Yeah, well, he loves it. He's definitely a toolie.
I just listened to his podcast with you, so I listened to that before, and BJ's, I think, today as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he definitely loves having new tools to play with.
Yeah, I've had a good chat with him a few times. Like I'm looking at moving up where does a lot of work.
Yeah, okay.
Up near his farm, sort of close-ish to his farm, but I don't know.
Yeah. You'd outgrow the 48 real quickly if you move up that way.
I wouldn't keep it. It's not hilly enough. It won't cut acreage quick enough to be good enough for, if I got the truck, so I'm sort of limited too because I got the toolboxes.
Yeah.
So I could probably go 54. I'd struggle with much bigger unless I took the toolboxes off.
Yeah, if you're going to do that and you're going to do a lot of acreage work, then a 61 would be ideal, or even a 72.
Because I could fit one on the front section. I just got, because 2 different sections. I could fit a 71, but
yeah,
probably. I've got just the 32 and the 48 up there at the moment. So
yeah. Well, if you did that, get rid of both of them and buy a 61 or a 72 and off you go.
Yeah, it just depends how much acreage up there, or if I get offered a job, it'd be nice.
Fair.
Cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I don't know. We'll see how we go. Still a couple of years off. Still got to buy a house at some point.
Yeah.
Not getting any cheaper.
So are you in your own house where you are now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And been in business for 8.5 years.
Yeah.
Would you say that where you're at you're pretty happy with it?
I wish there was a bit more work. There's around here. I've talked to a lot of other gardeners, and there's not too much work going at the moment. So
yeah,
I wouldn't mind a few more regulars, but I've probably had about 20 clients sell up in the last 6 months. So
yeah,
it would sort of be nice to have a few more jobs, but I'll get through to winter and get to spring. But it's not too bad. I just need to earn more and spend less. Yeah, pretty much. So I just got to work a few more hours in spring, I think, instead of taking days off.
Yeah. So have you reached a point where you put on employees, or you shy away from it?
I've put workers on before, but they don't really like listen to someone younger than them usually. So I had a lot of issues with that. Sort of people a couple of years older than me, or I had some bloke that was 50 years old and I was 22, and he's like, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm like, all right, what are you doing here, mate? I don't know. I don't mind having workers, but I've had too many. Like, you get to 6 o'clock in the morning and they say, oh, I'm not coming in, or I'm too tired or something. So it's sort of easier doing it yourself and just taking on enough for yourself. And
yeah, so at the moment you're not working with any employees, you're just staying solo.
Yeah, I'll just be solo for a while. maybe subby, like if someone wanted some work, like if I had enough and I'd just subby, like give someone some subby work. Maybe.
So you're doing 5 days a week?
At the moment, probably only three
Yeah, okay.
full time. Yeah, so I'm trying to pick up a bit more work, but there's not too many quotes coming through. So
Yeah.
it's just the way it is, I think, at the moment.
So is that just because it's dropped off for winter, or is that what it's been like through summer?
No. I think it's just the economy. No one's spending money, so I usually get heaps more cleanups this time of year.
Yeah.
So I've probably had one or two, and I usually get one or two a week.
Yeah.
So it's probably been quiet since March, I'd say. Because it's not like it didn't rain here between January and April, which is when it's hottest. So it was just dry. So I was just a bad lead into winter. But
Yeah.
it'll start, I don't know, growing soon and people get cleanups done, I guess.
Yep.
But as I was talking to someone on High Pages, one of the guys, and he said as soon as the jobs are coming, they're just going because there's so many people wanting work in this area.
Well,
there's not much work, so
yeah.
don't know. See what the next 12 months holds.
Yeah. So can we talk about pricing?
What are we talking about? Pricing.
Pricing. Yeah. You happy to talk about it? Because I always give people the opportunity to say, nope, not telling.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it.
So are you happy with the pricing structure you got at the moment?
Yeah, I've had to drop it a bit just to land a few more jobs, but that's just what you sort of got to do when you're not full schedule. So,
yep.
Yeah, I'm not too unhappy. Like, I don't know, some people don't like paying it, but...
Yeah. So the way I try and give people a good idea of your pricing is rather than just talking about hourly rates, and by all mentions, talk about your average hourly rate.
Yeah,
but
I usually try and quote, but hourly rates sort of, you try and aim for it anyway.
But yeah, what I find is a fairer way to look at it is what do you bring in for a day or a week? Because that tends to give people a much better idea. And it covers the wide variety of different types of jobs. You got people who are like Mark Gladaway who talk about doing $250 an hour, but it's a 10-minute job.
Yeah.
And then you get other people who are doing all day on one site at $70 an hour, and they both go home with the same amount of money for the day.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I aim for sort of 600 a day, 660, including GST. So I try and get, $2,500, $3,000 a week.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's a bit lower than that, but
yeah, but that's pretty good. That's across the industry. That's pretty normal.
Yeah.
And
just depends on your expenses, I guess.
Does it change? Like, obviously, the expenses change heaps, but does the take home change heaps depending on whether you're using the Cub Cadet or the Pushmo?
No, they don't use that much difference in fuel. I don't really.
Or the 32?
No, 32 uses a bit of fuel, but yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not that big of a difference.
Yeah, okay.
Fuel comes out, it's on a fuel card, so it comes out monthly. So I only stress about it at the end of the month. But
yeah, fair enough.
I guess it's all. Yeah, it just depends what you're spending. I guess I got a lot of insurance and everything. I'm probably spending, I don't know, $1,000, $1,200 a week on business expenses. So
yeah,
if you're not making enough, it's it sort of evens out.
Yeah, it adds up pretty quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I was trying to get to the 3 to 4 range a week, but this time of year, it's if you get a clean up, it's not too bad. But
yeah,
just got to land a couple more, and then I'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah. And I've found tracking business expenses is really interesting because you often don't think about it until you start going, oh, I've got a bill and I've got no money left to pay it.
Yeah, I wrote everything down. I was just like, I need to figure out what I'm actually spending so I actually know what's going on. And then I was like, oh, that's a lot more than what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listening to the audiobook for Profit First and talking to other people who have implemented that has really changed the way I look at my spending.
Yeah.
Because if you put all of your money into pockets or bank accounts or envelopes, whatever level of technology you're using, you start going, okay, if I've only got that money there that I can spend, then I think twice before I go out there and spend it.
Yeah. I'm horrible with spending. I said it's something and I want it. So I don't know. Like, I've worked hard enough, I'll just buy it. And then I was just like, oh shit, I shouldn't have got that. But I don't know. I was a bit more, on insurances and everything, I pay way too much because of my age. But
Yep.
um,
I actually went through all my insurances in the last few months and reanalyzed what I'm paying for what, and made sure I'm not paying for insurance that's not valuable to me, or adjusted the premiums accordingly.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking about with me business and vehicle insurance. I think I pay like each vehicle's like $2.5, $3 grand a month or a year in insurance. So it's $6 grand a year in 2 vehicles.
That adds up.
That adds up quick. But
Yeah.
like, don't know, like my car, I can't really do much about because that's probably the cheapest quote was $3 grand a year or something
Yeah.
for the
That's
mod
it.
and everything. But the truck, I don't know why I'm paying so much. So, but it's a business insurance too, which is,
Yeah.
I don't know, everything's insured. So in
I
case,
think because it's business insurance and because it's a commercial vehicle with a truck, the weight of the truck makes a big difference on it as well.
it's under 4.5.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know. They just like charging me because I'm 25.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but no, like, I don't know. I just got to rein it in a bit more and just call around and try and get some better prices for things.
Yeah, definitely. It's always worth shopping around.
Yeah,
One of the things I changed up a while ago, whenever I do an insurance quote, is I aim to reduce the premium and pay more excess if I make a claim.
yeah.
So if it's a $2,000 premium and the claim is going to cost $500 to make,
Yeah,
you don't want to make a claim, and you hope you don't need to make a claim.
no,
So if you can reduce your premium, which is what you pay each year or each month,
yeah,
I found I could reduce my premium by as much as half sometimes.
yeah,
And it means if I've got to make a claim, it's going to be more like $1,500 to $2,000 to make a claim. But
yeah.
I've probably made one claim in 10 years.
I've never made a claim. That's my
Well,
thing.
I think I've made a claim for when my employee ran the mower into a car. I made a claim on the public liability insurance for that.
Oh, is that public? Is that public liability? Is it? If
Yeah.
you run into a car, oh, that's all right.
Well, because it was the lawnmower that did it, right?
Yeah,
So it wasn't a vehicle accident.
yeah,
It was a lawnmower accident. It happened to be somebody else's vehicle involved in my lawnmower accident.
yeah.
But that's not a claim on my vehicle insurance. That's a claim on my public liability. Whereas more recently, I had to put in a claim on my vehicle insurance, and that's like the first one I've had to do, I think, ever.
Yeah. I had someone run up the arse of my truck, but that was not a fault. So I don't know what that did to my insurance, but
Yeah, if you're not at fault, then it shouldn't affect your insurance at all, and you shouldn't even have to pay an excess on it. But if they're uninsured or you have some issues along those lines, you might find yourself out of pocket.
yeah, I just got a cash payout, so it wasn't too bad, and I've just fixed it myself.
Fair enough.
Wasn't too. I bought new ramps, but I haven't put them on yet. So
Fair.
they're just a bit. I thought the ramps on my truck were 3.5 meters, but they're only 3. So I got custom made ones up for 3.5 meters,
Yeah.
and they're a bit too long. Like 640 wide by, or 700 wide by 640 by the skinnier part. Got them full custom made to 3.5 meters, and they're half a meter too long.
No.
I don't know if they'll fit in my factory. They probably should. It's pretty tall though, so
Yeah.
they do fold. So I don't know.
Yeah. Folding ramps make it a whole lot easier.
Yeah, it's heaps easier using the truck than the trailer too.
Yeah.
I just drive around in that all day.
Yeah. If you can avoid towing a trailer, it's going to make life so much easier.
Yeah, 100%. I got the 8B5 tipper.
Yeah.
It's nice, but I don't use it that much. I need to do more cleanups, and I'll start using it a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, just for driving around, it's only, I think the truck's 6.5 meters long overall, so it's easy to get into areas, and having a trailer on the back of your car and driving that around, you're like 11 meters long, and try and get to a court and there's a car parked halfway around, you sort of, I don't know, you get to it and you got to turn somehow and you get out, but it's sort of like it's a lot more stuffs with your head a bit more than just
when you hear people on LMCA talking about doing jobs in a built-up suburban area with a trailer on, and they end up having to double park.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that's not me.
Yeah, 100%. definitely a lot harder. Like I used to run around with a trailer, but yeah, it's a lot nicer with the truck.
Yeah, make it a lot easier.
Yeah, you can carry everything.
I found the same with the van when I had it. It would just, if I didn't need to take the trailer with me, it made life so much easier.
Yeah. Would you run in the van? Just battery?
No, I could fit my walker in the van.
Yep.
So I could have my walker in there as well as push mower.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Have you looked into the No, I think you were talking about the auto mowers or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got several robotic mowers that I use now.
Yep.
But the robotic mowers that I'm using, they live in one place all the time. It's not like you take them with you, put them on a job while you're working, and then take it away and when you're finished.
Yeah.
They live on one site and they just do one area, and they do a brilliant job.
Yeah. I've looked into them, but I don't know. There's too many small areas for back lawns. Like around here, it's real wet over
Yeah.
winter, so it's sort of like it'd be perfect. But I don't know if they'd like the wet ground or not too much. Not really.
Well, I've found they work really well on soft ground.
Yeah.
So typically speaking, if your zero turn would leave a imprint with your tyre tracks, then your robotic mower's not going to make a dent in the ground.
Yeah, 100%.
But,
even
of course-
through some lawns, you're sort of leaving footprints. So
Yeah, of course, the one problem there is when as you see it come up on LMCA where somebody's gone in to do some gardening or do the edges on a lawn where the customer's gone to a robot and the robot's sat there spinning in the mud. And it's like, well, everything's going to get stuck in the mud or when there's water across the ground like that.
yeah, 100%.
But if you know their limits, they do a really good job. They do a better job than you can do with any other mower.
Yeah. I looked into them last year, I think, when it was real wet, because I was going to get a hover mower. I was joking about one, and then I was looking at them. I was like, "Oh, that might be a good idea," because I'm leaving tracks through lawns. But I didn't end up getting one. I was like, "No, I'll just wait it out for a month and whip some lawns."
The only time a hover mower really makes sense is if it's on a job that you're there all the time.
Yeah.
Because you'd see golf courses using hover mowers down beside the waterways when they're trying to keep those areas looking really tidy.
Yeah.
But there's only a few spots like that where it actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I reckon the auto mowers are definitely going to be good in the future.
Yeah.
Getting better and better. As long as they don't get stolen, they're all right.
Well, most of the decent ones have got GPS tracking in them anyway. So you're talking the new ones which do systematic mowing instead of random mowing.
I heard of a Husky, one of the good Husky mowers gets stolen off a site and someone just put it in their yard, and they said they knew, like the coppers knew where it was, but they weren't doing anything about it. So
that's interesting because
made a noise for a while and then it stops after the battery dies in it. So they weren't going to get it because, I don't know. I just heard it from someone else.
Yeah, that is an interesting one because typically speaking with the Huskies, they there's only one or two models that don't have GPS tracking in them.
Yeah, I think
so. If they have GPS tracking, then the cops can find it, and typically, if you can show the cops on your phone, this is where it is, they will act on that.
Yeah, I think they had they had the tracker on it, but they didn't go and get it. They knew exactly where it was, and they didn't care. So
the other thing is that 9 times out of 10, if you've got the tracking on and all the security enabled, the person, once they remove it from your yard, they can't use it.
No, that's what they were saying. They can't use it. It's unusable, but
yeah, it'll be disabled until you put a PIN number in, and if it's needing the wire in the ground and the base station to be synchronized with it so that it works as well.
Yeah,
then it's useless.
It's just sits in the garden, I think.
That's interesting that the cops wouldn't go and get it, because I've heard plenty of times where people have had that issue happen and the cops have gone and got it for them.
Yeah, well, I don't think they care. I don't know if it was in Melbourne or not, but I heard it from some Melbourne guys, Urban Turf, I think. So.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting. They're obviously going to be areas where the cops are going to go, nope, not allowed to.
No.
Won't touch that.
No.
Got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they just don't care. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that too. Do you do a lot of spraying?
Not really. A tank a day or less. I don't have any chem cert, so not yet anyway.
Yeah, and I won't judge. I don't actually have it either.
No.
I'm planning on getting it because I believe it's sensible to have it. And even though, like in New South Wales, you can spray 5 litres of concentrate or 20 litres of mix on one job or in one day.
Oh, yeah.
Once you hit 5 litres or of concentrate or 20 litres of mixed product, you need to have done ChemCert.
But who's going to, police you on that is probably the thing.
Well, the other thing is, for most people like you or I, you can stay under that fairly easily and still do what you need to do.
Yeah. I'm going to get it. I want to get it at some point. I just never sat down and done it. So
I'm the same. I'm planning on doing it. But the other thing there is ChemCert is a training module, not a license. And a lot of people talk about licensing and being licensed to spray. And it's like, no, being licensed to spray, particularly in New South Wales, and I would imagine Victoria is similar to New South Wales by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Being licensed is for people who are doing, your ute or your side-by-side with a big 1,000-litre tank on the back of it and a petrol motor running it. And you're going out there and doing a fruit orchard or a golf course or, a farm crop.
Yeah, well, my neighbours do the planting for the council, like the planting of the trees where lawnmowers hate, where they put them in the middle of the nature strips and they do the weed spraying around them. So they've got all the ChemCerts and everything like that with the big tanks on the back. But
so once you get to that size, you've got to be licensed, not just ChemCert.
Yeah, you're going to have the lot.
So for what we do, you should do ChemCert. I should do ChemCert.
Oh, 100%. Everyone should have it.
But you can fly under the radar. And all you got to do is make sure you do less than 5 litres of concentrate or less than 20 litres of pre-mixed product.
5 litres of concentrate is a lot, though.
Oh, yeah. But if you go 20 litres of mixed product, then, that's one. Like my backpack spray is 16 litres and my other one's 10. So if I do more than one, then I need to do it.
Yeah. But it's who's going to police you on spraying that much, I guess.
And this goes to one couple of conversations I've had with people about if something goes wrong, then that's when they're likely to ask. So the likelihood of something going wrong is not great, but it will happen to somebody. And if they haven't done the ChemCert and then something's gone wrong and they're like, well, have you done any training?
Yeah, it would be good to learn about a few more chemicals, I think, and what they do. That's probably the only thing I'd want to see. Like I do a little bit of broadleaf, but not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough to do any damage.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, I think most people will do some Roundup.
Yeah. I do glyphosate.
But then it narrows down the number of people that do when you start moving into broadleaf. There's still a fair few that do broadleaf, but it does definitely narrow down from glyphosate down to broadleaf. And then once you start talking about different types of chemicals for different types of weeds, or doing army grubs, various different pesticides, all those, once you start getting into the different chemicals that can do all those different things or pre-emergence, you're narrowing down the number of people that do it quite a lot.
Yeah. I know a few guys that do the lawn renovations and stuff around here, so if they got any those sort of things, I'll just send them to them.
Yeah, fair. And that's a good way to run your business. If you stay within your lane and refer jobs that are on the fringe to somebody else who specialises in doing it.
Yeah. These dogs are bloody. We got 4 border collies and 2 of them don't get along with each other, so one of them stays inside.
Oh, wow. Yep.
And the other 3 are outside, but...
Yeah, my Labrador's out the back and there's nobody else home this afternoon, and I think the neighbours have got builders in doing some work, and so he's been terrorising the builders.
Just bark, He's just barking at anything going past. Anything walking past, and it's just the schools finishing and people getting home, so...
Yep.
I don't know.
It's that time of day.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming and joining me in the dungeon. It's been good.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.